The Buffalo Bills get the rematch they were hoping for as they won their wild card game, and so did the Baltimore Ravens, which means the Ravens will be flying up to Buffalo this Sunday to take on Josh Allen and the Bills. My name is Tyler, here with my brother Ryan, and we're going to break down this divisional matchup between the Baltimore Ravens and Buffalo Bills. But before we get into that, if you like the content that we put out and you want to help the Tracy Tate channel grow, the easiest way is hitting that subscribe button, tackling that bell to get notified when videos come out. And while you're at it, leave a like and a comment. Let us know who you think will win and why. And Ryan, as I said, Josh Allen and the Bills won against the Denver Broncos in dominant fashion, and Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens won against the Pittsburgh Steelers in dominant fashion as well last night. So this Saturday, we're recording this Sunday night, if you could have figured that out already. But so the rematch, a lot of people have been looking forward to the two premier MVP candidates. There's been the debate, I think, for the past month or so, Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson. Well, we're going to be able to see it. We're going to be able to actually kind of maybe put some. I guess have a lot more evidence on who you support here. To me, I'm kind of indifferent. I think both these guys have been playing phenomenal. That's maybe a side conversation we can have towards the end of the video. But here, though, I think the Bills also too were really looking for really looking forward to this matchup because if you go look at their losses, they just got absolutely blown out in this game in week 4.
Yeah.
And looking back at it, they got punched in the mouth to start out the gate. And like before you know it, they were down 21-3 and totally got out of their game plan and not really playing the type of ball, especially at that time that they were wanting to play. And it went fit right in to the Ravens' hands. And that's what I think is going to be very interesting for this matchup is how are Buffalo, who they have a good deep I think they have a solid defense. They're 12th overall in rushing yards allowed. And I even think too that number is skewed a little bit just because they gave up 271 rushing yards in this one game to Baltimore. And they rarely given up more than 140 rushing yards for the rest of the season outside of this one game. So I
Mhm.
think they're a little bit better rushing defense than what this performance was here throughout the whole season. Now that being said, though, they have given up some passing yards. Like over the past couple of weeks, they dominated Bo Nix of the Denver Broncos. Great passing performance, absolutely. But if Zay Flowers is able to come back, Lamar Jackson and this offense has really picked things up, throwing the ball wise. Well, this whole year they've been great throwing
Oh,
the
yeah.
ball and rushing the ball as well. But they really seem to pick things up here. Mark Andrews has come on strong as well. You're going to have Rashard Bateman caught a touchdown as well in the last game. So, want to throw it over to you here. What are some things, some key X factors that you're looking for both the Ravens and the Bills to help them become victorious in this game?
Well, for me, the Bills, they have to stop the run. This defense, especially, I think, as they've kind of gone down the stretch, they've gotten into some shootouts and they've given up a lot of points here lately as this loads. So they gave up, what was that? 42, 44. I guess it was just the two games that are kind of skewing my opinion there against the Rams and the 49ers. But when they've played really good offenses, they have slightly struggled
I think you mean
in
Lions.
or yeah, Rams
Yeah.
and Lions. And so like they have slightly struggled a little bit in that aspect, but neither of those teams are well, I guess the Lions are a really solid running team. And you go back, this was a really harsh performance. They busted a long run early with Derrick Henry. And like you said, they kind of got thrown out of their game plan. So for me, they need to be able to stop that run early and keep Lamar Jackson in the pocket. That's one of the things like him and Josh Allen do the same thing just in very different ways where they get out of the pocket and then they basically just put defenses in a no-win situation where all right, I'm either going to throw this or run it for a positive gain, and there's nothing you can do about it at that certain point. So if they can keep them in the pocket, that I think that's going to be a really big uh, plus for this Bills defense. On the flip side of that, I think the Ravens need to do a very similar thing. Joe Brady and this Bills offense want to run the football like in a traditional manner. And if you can slow down that running game early and put a lot of this game on Josh Allen, he can definitely do it. It just throws them out of their game plan and it turns Josh Allen into hero mode. And he starts trying to extend plays. That is when he gets a little reckless with the football. And the evidence that I have is that first Patriots game where the Patriots got up 14-0. They took away the run fairly early on, and then they forced Josh Allen to make some bad throws, force him to. Ultimately, he ended up making enough plays for them to win, but that was kind of the game plan that they took there. So I think that's going to be really important for the Ravens. This wide receiving group for the Bills is not anything spectacular. They're good. They're just young and inexperienced.
Yeah.
This tight end group is solid, but I think Kyle Hamilton and that safety group can handle their own. All in all, I think that this is a good matchup for the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah, no, that's what I was thinking too as well. Like if you're the Bills, it just seems to be a matchup
Mhm.
overall. But this is if you're going to go win the Super Bowl, it's like you're going to have to go beat like one of the top three favorites of our Super Bowl favorites when it comes to the AFC representation in Baltimore, and then you're probably going to have to go to Kansas City as well, and then beat the back-to-back Super Bowl champion. So this is just going to be part of the road. Not all matchups are going to be favorable, but you're right. Like, and if there was a thing that statistically the Ravens don't do well, and I say statistically, I'll get to that here in a second, but uh, uh, Ravens pass defense is one of the worst. They've given up 244 passing yards allowed per game. By that being said, though, they have improved pretty significantly over the past several weeks. What's the gentleman's name here? Washington. Their safety here. Adarius
Oh,
Washington
yeah,
has really come on strong over the past couple weeks. Obviously, you have Kyle Hamilton as well. And then Marlon Humphrey, he's the fifth ranked corner when it comes to the PFF rankings as well. And then so that secondary has improved a lot as the year has gone on. And on top of that, too, they are first and second in sacks with 54 sacks on the season. Ironically, though, the Bills' offensive line have given up the least amount of sacks, making them first overall.
yeah.
So that's just where it's going to be a very interesting matchup here. But to your point, though, and in the matchup in week 4, James Cook, he only ran the ball 9 times for 39 yards. They got out of their game plan very early on, as we mentioned. The Bills are going to have to obviously they want to get the lead and keep the lead. Like that's an obvious statement, but they are going to want to stay within striking distance so they can keep maintaining that game plan, like to where how like we could run the ball traditionally, which is going to be tough to do as the Ravens also have the first rushing defense as well, only giving up like 80 or so rushing yards per game. It's going to be very interesting. And on the flip side too, I Lamar Jackson has been playing extremely well. He looked
Oh,
very
yeah.
efficient, very dominant, even too without Zay Flowers in their wild card win over the Pittsburgh Steelers as well. Uh, the the Bills are going to have to contain him, Matt Milano, and who's the other guy? Um,
Terrell Bernard and
Terrell Bernard, like the linebackers, they're going to have to make sure
yeah.
that they keep an eye on Lamar Jackson at all time. And he just creates mismatches. But at the same time, though, too, Josh Allen also does create mismatches as well. He has that
Yeah.
superstar aspect of it. We've been talking about the Lions, how it just feels like it's destiny. Like it just seems like it's just their year, the way things have been going, the way they have been playing. And for me, that's why kind of going into my prediction, them being at home in this matchup here, I think the atmosphere is going to be absolutely chaotic. I feel the Bills are going to be able to get a late game turnover on Lamar Jackson up 4, and I think Buffalo is going to win this one. I think they're going to be able to still have a balance. I think they're going to have a balanced attack, but I think there's going to be some neat kind of shake and bake things that Joe Brady is going to be able to dial up in the moment. Josh Allen is going to have his superstar, just like a superstardom is going to come out here. That Keon Coleman has developed a bunch. Khalil Shakira has been a very consistent receiver. Matt Collins has come on strong as well as a veteran option as well. Curtis Samuel even had a bomb of a touchdown today as well. So these weapons have improved also as well for the Bills as the season has gone on, and I think they're going to be able to still exploit some of the weaknesses in this Baltimore secondary. And I think they're going to win. I think the offensive line is going to win more often than not against the defensive line, at least when it comes to pass protection. And I think that they're going to be able to pull this one out at home. So I'm going to go with the Buffalo Bills here in this game.
I'm gonna go with the Baltimore Ravens. One, just so we have some disagreements and
I
teams to root
like
for,
it.
but two, I do just think that this running game and this offense as a whole, especially if Zay Flowers is healthy, that will be a big key for the Ravens is getting Zay Flowers healthy. But uh, this running game and this offense as a whole is just too efficient. And not that the Bills aren't. I just feel like if the Bills get behind, they have to put this whole game on Josh Allen to be Superman. And not that he can't do it. I just think it's more likely that the Ravens make more plays. Like the
Mhm.
Ravens team as a whole will have to make more plays than just Josh Allen if the Ravens get ahead early in this game, and I think that's much more likely to happen, especially too. I, I know the Bills defense has been good this year. I think that this Ravens rushing attack, especially with Lamar Jackson, and then you throw in like that power aspect with Derrick Henry, I think we'll be able to wear down this Bills defense, and I think the Ravens are going to head to Kansas City in a AFC Championship matchup.
I like it. Get that week 1 revenge. I can
Yeah,
see that. It's gonna be, it's gonna be a wild matchup, in the AFC Championship game is just gonna be a wild matchup. Because I will say this, I feel like it's everybody versus Kansas City. I think, like, everybody
yeah,
just doesn't want Kansas City to make the Super Bowl. So
yeah,
it's like and so it's gonna be very fascinating to watch. I think that's a fair point too as well. We talked so much about how good, Baltimore's defense is overall, and how it's just kind of mismatched for, uh, Buffalo offensively. But as a good point too is the Bills secondary as well. They've played good so far, but we have seen them falter
yeah,
as well. You can look at Brazil Douglas, Tamar Hamlin, Taylor Rapp as well. Just on PFF, I know it's not the godsend at all, but they're definitely on the lower end of their respected positions when it comes to rankings. So what type of defense is Sean McDermott going to want to throw out there to try and contain as much as possible against them? Well, I will say we will have to see if Zay Flowers ends up going. That's going to be a big knock on this team here, just with that explosiveness. But that being said, though, I think the defensive line, Gregory Rousseau, AJ Espinosa, they're going to have to win more often than not on their matchups here and get some pressure on Lamar Jackson, kind of try and make him uneasy. So, but it's going to be a good game no matter what. It's going to be a really fun weekend next week.
yeah. So let's go ahead. Let's wrap up this one here. If you guys have not already, please go ahead and like and subscribe. That is the best way to help out the channel. While you're down there, leave a comment on who you think is going to come out ahead in this matchup. Will it be the Baltimore Ravens? Will it be the Buffalo Bills? And also let us know who you think should be the 2024 NFL MVP. Other than that, we will see you guys next time.